The following is an encore presentation of stories from the Dooralong Transformation Centre. And we've got 10 minutes past 10. And we're joined in the studio this morning with one of our lovely guests from Dooralong. And this morning we're joined by Anna. So very good morning to you, Anna.
Good morning.
And it's a beautiful morning, isn't it? How's life out at Dooralong in this weather?
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, it's beautiful. Wake up with sunshine and kangaroos outside.
Oh.
Yep.
That's pretty idyllic, isn't it?
Yeah, I had a big group of about 10 kangaroos only this morning outside,
beautiful.
right at my doorstep.
Yeah. What about the heat out there, though?
Yeah.
It gets hot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Luckily we've got air conditioning.
You've got air conditioning,
Yep.
you've got a pool.
Yep.
Yep, so you're sorted.
That's it.
Yeah. How long have you been at Dooralong, Anna?
About 4.5 months now, all up.
Yeah, that's not too long, is it?
No, it feels like I've been there a lifetime.
Does it?
Yeah, but I'm glad.
Yeah.
You know, it's been great every moment.
So even that 4.5 months, it sounds as if it's been pretty life-changing for you.
It has been. Every day's a new experience.
Yeah.
Yep. And I'm learning more and more every day.
Yeah. You wake up and you see the wildlife and you're enjoying life.
Oh, great way to start the morning.
Isn't
Just,
it?
you know, the gifts of God, gifts
Yeah.
of recovery.
Yeah. Hasn't always been like that, though, has it?
No.
No. Yeah, I think you were just telling me off. It all started to go wrong for you. Oh, when you were a child, early teenage years, is that right?
Yep. Yeah, I was majorly bullied in school and outside of school, and didn't have the best family life growing up. You know, it was better than a lot of others, but it didn't help my case.
Yeah.
And
So to escape that bullying, to find a little sort of oasis where you could just feel okay about yourself,
that's it.
That was
yeah,
cannabis.
ignore the world outside and just
Yeah. How did it make you feel?
Great at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, so I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, you know, problems didn't matter to me anymore. You know, felt like everything was going to be fine.
Didn't matter that you were being bullied, or it mattered but not as much?
Yeah, I could just brush it off. You know, because
Yeah.
I didn't even pay attention to it really. Yep. And yeah, it made it a bit easier to cope with things.
Yeah. What effect did it have on your schoolwork?
Not the best. I found it very hard to concentrate in school, even before the drugs.
Yeah.
And I left school at the end of year 9, start of year 10, because I just couldn't handle it anymore. Yep.
Yeah. Do you ever ask yourself, Anna, if you had perhaps gone down another path at that age of 13, and instead of turning to the drugs, perhaps gone and seen a school counsellor? I don't know whether they had them those days.
Yeah, I did see a counsellor.
Yeah. Did it help?
Not really.
No.
I think it was more on my behalf. I was seeing a psychologist as well at the Hornsby Hospital, and yeah, I saw her for about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I was going through mass depression at the moment. Got diagnosed with bipolar at the age of 12.
Wow.
So yeah, it's very bad.
So yeah, it was a challenging childhood, really, wasn't it, with health problems, mental health issues?
Yes, majorly.
And bipolar, for people who perhaps aren't aware of what bipolar is, it's really hard, isn't it? Briefly tell me, what is bipolar? How does it affect a 13-year-old, a 12-year-old?
It's terrible. It's manic highs and lows, and it's a chemical imbalance in your mind. And yeah, my mum and my sister both have it as well, so it was semi-passed down and from my surroundings.
So you can be depressed for weeks and months on end, and not just having a bad day, but really depressed. Yeah,
and then just be ecstatically high all of a sudden, and the worst part of it is not knowing why. I could just be extremely depressed one day for no reason. It just hits all of a sudden, and it's just like the world's crumbling down around me. And then the next day, I'm ecstatic. Nothing can get me down.
Huge mood swings.
Oh, it's ridiculous. It's so hard to handle. And I was determined, like, they wanted to medicate me from 12 years old. Yeah. And I said no, because I saw my mum being medicated, and she couldn't even be off it for 1 day, and she'd go berserk. So I said, no, I don't want that. I want to do it myself. And I did manage for a few years to keep in control, but
good for you.
I realised eventually, no, I need the proper help. Yeah. And yeah, I'm glad I did.
Yeah. And then you started taking cannabis. Did that have any effect on your bipolar?
Yeah, well, it helped in some ways, but it made it worse in other ways. The depressions weren't as deep, but they were longer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, I mean it is a chemical and it does affect the transmitters in the brain and all the rest of it. So it's bound to have some effect.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So here you are. You're 13 years old. Would you say you're addicted at this age?
To cannabis, yeah.
Yeah. You've left school early. What happens to you next? Do you have to start looking for a job and things like this?
Yes, that's how I left school. My counsellor said, okay, if you want to leave it this early, you've got to have a full-time job to go to.
Okay, so that was the deal.
Yep. So I went out and got myself a job.
Oh, good for you.
Yep. Yeah. And left school, and about a year later, I started doing year 10 at TAFE.
Yes.
That didn't really work out too well. I put my all into it, but it just didn't end up eventuating.
You'd miss such a lot, I guess, from school.
That's it, yeah. It was a bit hard.
But it sounds as if you still had dreams and ambitions. You were planning for the future. You were planning for a good life. You were going to TAFE. You were looking to get a job.
Yep.
So you hadn't given up on life?
No. At that point, I thought everything was still ahead of me.
Yeah.
You know, I got the jobs that I dreamed of having. I've been able to do that 3 times now.
What are your dream jobs?
My first one as a young one, of course, was working in a music shop, the old-fashioned records, CDs,
record shop.
The second-hand ones.
Wow. Yeah.
And I got that.
Yeah.
I got that when I was 16 years old. And I still remember the day that he called me up to say I had the job. I screamed in the phone like I'd won the lotto.
Yeah.
He's like, I picked the right person, that's for sure.
So music's always been a part of your life?
Oh, always. Always.
And of course that vinyl's coming back now.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I love music in every aspect of it.
Yeah. So you got the job that you wanted.
Yep.
But are you happy?
At the time I was.
Yeah.
Because things were going really well.
Still taking the cannabis?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
I used to rock up to work stoned, unfortunately. So that was the start of me doing that, coming to work, on drugs.
Yeah. Did they sort of pull you up over that?
Kind of. I remember one day I walked in and the assistant manager, there's only 3 of us that worked there, she's gone, you might want to go out the back, your eyes are bloodshot red.
Ooh dear.
Yep.
Yeah.
She just didn't want the staff, customers to see it.
You didn't sort of think this was a wake-up call?
Yeah, well, I'd cut down how much I had before work.
Okay.
So that wouldn't happen, but, you know.
Yeah. You continued?
I did continue.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what happened to the job in the record shop? It sounds like your dream job.
It was. That one, actually, they just closed down. Because JB Hi-Fi moved in up the road, and
that was the end of it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was very sad to see. And then, of course, the next job I dreamed of was working at Soundwave for the music festival.
Again, it's that music connection, isn't it?
Yeah. Yep. And I got that. I worked there for about 6 years. And that was great. You know, it's only that 1 week a year.
Yeah.
But it was worth the wait.
And the drug taking, it sounds as if it was manageable at this stage. You're holding down a job. It's a job that you enjoy doing.
Yep.
So things, they're not great, but they're not too bad at this stage. Is
That's
that right?
It. Yeah, I had a job. I had a car. Was paying rent. Was paying my bills.
Yeah.
Yep.
So life wasn't treating you too badly.
No, it wasn't. Yep.
When did things start to turn?
Things started going really downhill about 3 or 4 years ago. Up until then, it was all right. It was, things like my mental condition was getting a bit worse because of the cannabis.
Yeah.
Psychosis and everything that it can send you into over a long time.
So you became psychotic?
Without realising it. I had no idea what it was.
Yeah.
But I now know through education that, I was getting psychosis.
And if we just explain to the listener, psychosis is where you're hearing voices in your head and seeing things?
Yep.
So you were hearing voices in your head?
Yeah, I couldn't differentiate the difference between reality and hallucinations.
Yeah. Yep. So you had an alternative reality?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah. That would be scary.
It was.
Very scary.
I could hear voices all the time. I was paranoid, so paranoid. All day I'd just sit at the window, staring out my window.
So the voices were telling you that people are going to do bad things to you, or telling you to do bad things to yourself?
Yeah, bad things to myself, that's for sure. I got between the ages of 15 and up until about 2 years ago, or even last year, I was extremely suicidal. I've tried ending my life more times than I can count. Yep.
So, yeah, this is serious, isn't it?
Yep.
It's life-threatening, this.
It is. It really is. I've had a few people, few close friends that have died as a result of drugs in one way or another.
Yeah.
And, yeah, like, I'll always remember them.
So, one level, we look at that life of yours and think, oh, there's Anna, she's got this life of sex, drugs, rock and roll, working in the music industry at Soundwave. Wow, cool life there. But that's just the surface, isn't it?
That's it.
Underneath it all, there's a lot of pain and struggle.
And it was. I had so many issues to deal with.
Yeah. Look, we're going to break for some music, and then we're going to come and talk to you again and sort of bring you out of that sort of situation that we're going to leave you in for a few minutes. But I just want to say, if anybody's been affected by what we've said and that talk of suicide, which is a real problem in Australia. So if you have been affected by it and you'd just like somebody to talk to, don't forget our really good friends at Lifeline would be only too pleased to speak to you. 13 11 14, it's free if you phone from your mobile, so please, 13 11 14. Yes, you're listening to Rima Central Coast 94.9. We're talking this morning to Anna. We left her before that music track. We left her in a very dark place with thoughts of suicide. Anna also is living with bipolar, which is a big challenge on its own, but it's made so much more complicated by drugs and all the rest of it. So would that have been rock bottom for you, Anna, those attempts on your life?
Funny enough, no.
No.
Wow,
that surprises me. It got even worse.
Yep.
Look, we don't want to spend too long, but I'm going to have to ask you, what was rock bottom if that wasn't?
Rock bottom was a couple of years ago. I was living in the bush in a tent, and scoring however I could, doing whatever I needed to do to score, and realising that I'd ruined everything in my life.
There's nowhere else to go, is there?
Yeah, there was nowhere else to go, and I was at the point where I felt the only option was to end things.
Yeah.
Because I just, it buggered things up so badly.
What about family?
I'm lucky that they've always been there for me. I lost their trust for many, many years, which I cannot blame them for at all. But they still, it's always a bed there for me to stay in. They never turn their back on me.
Yeah.
I've now regained that trust with them.
That's super, isn't it?
And they're so proud of me for doing what I'm doing.
So rock bottom for you was living with your mental health condition, being addicted to drugs, really addicted. I think you mentioned as well when we were speaking earlier, ice was the big one. That
was it. I started that about 3 years ago, and literally from the first second I had it, I was addicted.
It's what they say on the programs, but we sometimes wonder whether they're just telling us these things to frighten us off.
No. That is the worst thing to ever come out. It is ridiculous how much it screws up everything in your life. Just every single aspect of it.
One shot and that's it.
That was it. Even halfway through the shot, I was like, yep, I'm addicted. I knew it instantly, and that was the start of the biggest spiral for me. I lost everything. I lost my house, I lost my job, and I lost my car all in a week.
So you had a house?
Yeah, it was just a good rental.
Yeah.
Didn't own it.
But it's your home?
It was. I'd been there for a couple of years.
You had a job?
Had a really good job. Great pay, and I just enjoyed it a lot too.
And a nice little car?
And a brand new car.
Brand new car?
Yep.
And in 1 week?
1 week, I lost it all. Yeah, and that's the effects of it on you.
That's ice.
All you can think about is ice and your next hit.
Doesn't matter about your job or relationship.
Yep, all inhibitions, all morals, everything goes straight out the window.
Yeah, sole focus.
Yep, I manipulated and hurt friends. I used my family. I stole from them. I did a lot of fraudulent stuff, and it all caught up with me in the end.
Yeah.
Yep. I've been to court 3 times now over that.
Yeah. Well, look, you've been very honest with us, Anna. But we know that there is a more optimistic side of this story. When did things start looking up for you?
The second I walked through those gates at Dooralong.
How did you find out about Dooralong?
I had a good mate of mine. He was already in there for about 4 or 5 months.
Yeah. And
out of the blue one day, the same day I was trying to figure out where to go to, I just get a random message from him saying, you need to get yourself in here. This place is amazing.
So it was already going through your mind that, look, I've lost everything in a week, my house, my job, my car. I've got to do something about this. And then out of the blue, you get this text.
That's it. It was do or die for me, literally. I thought, I've got to give this a crack, get better, or that's it. I'm ending it for good.
So you got in touch with Dooralong?
Yep. I called them up and they got me in there within the month.
Yeah. They say you have to go to detox first.
Yeah, you do have to detox first.
Yeah.
So that's why it took a bit longer, because I had to wait for that date to come by. But yeah, I got straight in there and I just knew it was right. It was very confronting.
It would be. Because how does it go for you? Because that addiction that you talked about had such a strong grip on you.
Yep.
So what was the detox like? It must have been painful.
It was. It was very painful. I was there for 7 days, and on the last night I did attempt killing myself again.
Yeah. Did you ever think of just walking out and going back to the ice?
No, because I knew that
You'd turned a corner.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. The last few times I'd had it was terrible. I just had such bad turns. I'd be passing out, have convulsions and seizures and everything.
The way you paint ice, you do sort of ask yourself, why would anybody take it in the first place?
Totally.
It doesn't sound, it doesn't sound much fun.
No, not at all.
But look, you're at Dooralong now. You're out there down the valley with all the kangaroos and the wildlife. What did you think of it when you first got to Dooralong?
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm lucky enough to be in a beautiful place like that. Yep.
Yeah. And you knew it was run by the Salvation Army?
Yes.
Yeah. So you were open to the idea of chapel on Wednesday nights and all the other programs?
I first came there on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
So straight off the bat, chapel night.
Yeah.
And my mate that was in there, we were both atheists. And he warned me, said, look, there is the spiritual side to this. Be prepared.
Okay.
And I walked in and I just got into it straight away.
Yeah.
I don't know, something just hit me when I walked through those doors.
So you were open to it. You hadn't closed your mind to it.
Yeah.
You were open to it. Yeah.
Yeah, I still had a lot of anger and I blamed God for a lot of stuff. But, I was open to what they had to show me.
Yeah. And of all the programs that they have at Dooralong, which we've talked about in the past, are there any which you thought, oh, gee, this is really helping me?
Yeah, there's two in particular. There's the Door of Hope, which is for sexual abuse. And then there's a domestic violence course as well. And I'm doing both of them at the moment.
Yeah.
And wow, it has been a little bit confronting, but in a good way. I've really been able to deal with these issues, and that's what has driven me to do the harder drugs as well.
Yeah.
And also just doing it with the other women too. I know I'm not alone. We can share it, we can support each other. And it's taught me a lot, that it wasn't my fault.
Makes you very self-aware. It's like they peel away I suppose an analogy is an onion. They just keep peeling away the layers of the onion and down and down and down until they find a real Anna. That's
it. That's like my favourite saying is, addicts are like glow sticks. We need to be broken in order to shine.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
So I know this sounds a cliched thing, but you have found a real Anna?
I believe I have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm so happy with her.
Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Look, we're going to break for some more music, and then we'll come back and we'll talk about Anna's hopes for the future and just how big a part God is playing in Anna's life at the moment. We're talking to Anna this morning from Dooralong Transformation Centre. Anna has been at Dooralong now for 4.5 months and has literally saved your life, and you've done a 180-degree turn, haven't you?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what does the future hold for Anna?
So much stuff. Just the fact that I have a future, that by itself is the best gift of recovery I could have. I turned 30 in 2 months and I never thought I'd see that birthday. I thought one way or another I would not live to see 30. And now I know I'll be celebrating it and looking forward to so much. I've got really got that mindset of I can do whatever I want. I can achieve whatever I want.
Do you have to keep pinching yourself and reminding yourself this is real? Do you wake up some mornings and think, this can't be real?
Totally. Every morning I'm like, that's right, I'm in Dooralong. Wow.
Yay. And I'm clean.
Yeah. I can look at myself in the mirror now and not not be disgusted basically by what I see.
And you deserve a lot of credit, of course, because it takes a lot of hard work. I know that the Dooralong staff will meet you halfway, but there's a lot of work that you have to put in, isn't there?
Yes, there is. Yeah, you got to be accountable. You got to have responsibility.
Yeah.
And be open, honest, and willing.
There's no magic fix.
No. It's hard. There's times that you just want to walk. There's times that your brain starts telling you it'd be easier in addiction, because we're addicts, and we're addicts for the rest of our life. Even though we're off the drugs, every day we'll have to battle with addiction.
Yeah.
And so the addiction brain just starts going, wouldn't it be easier just to go and pick up again?
Yeah. You can manage it. You could keep it under control.
That's it. You know better now than you did last time.
Yeah. No. The other thing you've learned to do along, of course, is in that battle, that lifelong battle that you have, you won't be on your own wherever you go.
That's it. I now have support.
Yeah.
I've never had that in my life before.
Yeah.
I have people around that care. I have amazing caseworker, Paula. I love you, darling. And,
And church? You go to a local church, I think?
Yeah, I go to Long Jetty Church in Salvos, and it's amazing there. The atmosphere is great. The messages are amazing. The people are wonderful, and they're so welcoming and so accepting.
And how did you think they would be? Christian church people, you say they're wonderful, or accepting, they're amazing, there's no guilt trying to be put upon you. How did you think they would be?
I thought that they would be a bit judgmental. I did go to the church growing up, a different one up until I was about 13 years old, and they were very judgmental people. If you didn't follow their rules and doctrine to the T, you were looked down upon. And
so it was more about rules and doctrines than love and acceptance.
That's it. And now I've realised, wow, this is what God's love is really like. This is what it's meant to be like in a church. Yeah, so I'm so glad I've got them. So
church will be part of your future?
Definitely. I look forward to it every week.
Great.
And I can't wait to get there.
And chapel night, of course, tonight.
Yep, love chapel night. It's a great night for to see who's graduating as well and hear their stories. And just have a great time, hearing God's message and singing and dancing and... Yeah.
Super. And as you're a young person, as you say, not 30 yet, you're going to need a job, Anna.
Yep.
When you do leave Dooralong, any ideas, any thoughts?
Yeah, I've got a few in the works at the moment. The main one that was my dream since I've been a child is to be a park ranger. I never thought I could do it. I was always sceptical. But now I realise, no, I can if I put my mind to it. And so I intend on studying and trying to get my way into that. And I want to volunteer as well to help other women that have been through what I've been through.
So working in God's creation.
That's it.
That would be wonderful, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I'll follow His will and what He wants me to do.
Yeah. And how are things with family now?
Really good. My family is starting to trust me again. I lost their trust for so many years. And they're just so proud of the person I've become. They said that, they got their daughter back.
And again, they must have difficulty in believing that in just 4.5 months that such a change could have taken place. Yes.
It was a bit hard to start with because my dad had the whole perspective of, you don't need help, addiction, you can just stop because there's no addiction in our family.
If you wanted to, you could stop.
You could just stop. He didn't realise why I needed help, but now that I've been there, he loves the place. He comes to visit me on Sundays and in the afternoon, and he's fallen in love with the place too.
Oh, that's great, isn't it? Yeah. Look, Anna, it's been an absolute privilege talking to you this morning. Thank you for being so honest with, those challenges and battles that you've had in your life. As always, we pray God's blessing on your life and a lifelong sort of walk with God. We hope that's what's in store for you.
Oh, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Yep.
And look, again, a reminder, we have talked about some adult things this morning. If anything we've talked about is concerning you and it's just rattling around in your brain, just give Lifeline a ring, 13 11 14. You've been listening to an encore presentation of the Dooralong stories, which can be heard live every Wednesday at 10 a.m. and repeated 8 p.m. Sunday and 1 a.m. Wednesday, right here on 94.9 rema.cc.